Tonight, we're going to pull back the curtain on a microscopic invader. It's a parasite that has stalked humanity for centuries, often hiding in plain sight, concealed in one of our most common foods.
I mean, really think about that for a second. What if a single bite of the wrong meal could unleash this chain of events, where your own body becomes a home, a nursery, and literally a fortress for a hidden parasite? It sounds like something straight out of science fiction, but I'm telling you, it is a biological reality.
So our culprit, it isn't a bacterium or a virus. No, this is a far more complex organism. It's a master of infiltration, known to scientists as Trichinella spiralis.
Okay, let's break that down. Trichinella spiralis is a metazoa. That just means it's a multicellular animal with complex organ systems. So we're not talking about a simple single-celled protozoa here. And it's an endoparasite. Endo means within, so it lives its entire life inside its host, completely cut off from the outside world.
This chart kind of shows you where it fits in the animal kingdom. See that? It's in the phylum Nematoda, which makes Trichinella spiralis a very specialized type of roundworm. Think of it as a distant and much more sinister cousin to the worms you might find in your garden.
The name itself tells a story. Trichos is Greek for hair, which points to the slender, thread-like shape of the adult worms. And spiralis, well, that's from Latin, and it describes that perfectly coiled position the larvae take when they hole up in muscle tissue. So it's literally the small, coiled hairworm.
So how does this parasite pull off such an incredible journey? Well, it's less of a cycle and more of a biological heist, really. And it all kicks off with one undercooked meal.
This diagram from the CDC gives us the perfect overview. Notice there are two loops here, a domestic cycle, which historically involved pigs and rats, and a wild or sylvatic cycle in animals like bears and wild boars. Humans, well, we become accidental hosts when we step into either one of those cycles by eating infected meat that hasn't been cooked properly.
Let's break this heist down, step by step. First, ingestion. Your own stomach acid, the very thing that's supposed to protect you, instead dissolves the meat and frees the larvae. Step 2, invasion. They immediately burrow into your small intestine, and get this, in less than 2 days, they're fully mature adults. Step 3, reproduction. The females start releasing thousands of live newborn larvae directly into your bloodstream. And the final, most brilliant step, muscle encystment. These larvae travel through your body, find a muscle cell, and hijack it, reprogramming it to become a protective nurse cell. They literally build a fortress and just wait.
Now this parasite's brilliant little heist, it has absolutely devastating consequences for its host. That efficient journey through the body triggers a disease called trichinalysis, and it puts the entire body under siege.
So the illness plays out in two very different phases. The first one, the enterophase, happens in week 1. As the worms mature in your gut, you get symptoms like diarrhea and cramps. The problem is, it's almost always mistaken for just a regular case of food poisoning. But then comes the parenterophase, as thousands of those larvae migrate into the muscles. And this is where the real danger begins.
This is what doctors are looking for, the classic triad of symptoms that just screams trichinellosis. First, you get swelling around the eyes. Second, severe, widespread muscle pain as the larvae invade. And third, a persistent high fever. When those three things show up together, alarm bells start going off.
A blood test will reveal another huge telltale sign, a massive spike in a type of white blood cell called an eosinophil. These are basically your immune system's special forces, designed specifically to fight parasitic worms. Seeing their numbers skyrocket is a giant clue that the body is being besieged by a parasite.
So where in the world is this a problem? The answer is, well, pretty much everywhere. But the risk looks very different depending on where you live and what you're eating.
You see, Trichinella isn't just one species. It's a whole family, and different species are adapted to different regions and hosts. Up in the Arctic, you've got Trichinella nativa, which thrives in polar bears and is notoriously freeze-resistant. In Europe, Trichinella britovi is super common in foxes. And here in North America, hunters really need to be aware of Trichinella morelli in animals like bears.
Now, let's use the Netherlands as a fascinating case study. The country has 0 infections in its domestic pigs, which is great, but look at these infection rates in the wild fox population. In the central Velway region, over 13% of foxes are infected. It just goes to show that even in a country with excellent food safety, a massive wildlife reservoir for the parasite is still thriving, just out of sight.
And this quote from the Dutch National Institute for Public Health really gets to the crucial point for a lot of developed nations today. The risk isn't from the local supermarket pork anymore. No, it's from travel, from eating uninspected game meat when you're abroad, or from meat brought into the country through unofficial channels. The threat has shifted from being domestic to being imported.
Okay, the good news in all of this is that protecting yourself is actually very, very straightforward. This isn't some mysterious, unavoidable threat. Prevention is pretty simple. Rule number 1, and this is the big one, cook your meat, especially pork and wild game, to the proper internal temperature. A meat thermometer is your absolute best friend here. Freezing can also work for pork, but like we just saw, it's not a reliable method for wild game from the Arctic. So, when in doubt, it all comes down to heat.
But the story doesn't end there. In what is a pretty stunning twist, scientists are now looking at this ancient foe not just as a threat, but as a potential source of revolutionary new medicines.
I mean, think about it. To survive for years inside a living host, Trichinella spiralis has to become an absolute master at calming down the body's inflammatory response. So researchers are now studying the specific molecules the parasite uses to pull this off. The hope is that these molecules could be turned into new treatments for autoimmune and inflammatory diseases like IBD or even severe asthma. The parasite's own weapon could one day become our cure. How incredible is that?
Just so you know, all the information we've gone over in today's explainer was compiled and fact-checked using a Gemini deep search. If you want to dive deeper into the research, we've got a complete list of our sources available in the Notebook LM document, which is linked down in the description.
It's a fascinating and, yeah, a slightly terrifying world, isn't it? Knowing how this parasite operates, from hijacking cells to maybe even offering future cures, it makes you wonder, what other secrets are hidden in the microscopic worlds all around us? What should we explore next?
Let us know your thoughts and any suggestions for future topics in the comments below. And hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive into the hidden world of parasites, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more explainers just like this one. Thanks for watching.